Anuradha, thank you very much for joining us here in the Storytelling by and for Adult series. This is the September 2022 session. And please tell us where you're telling from. Tell us about your work. Tell us the title of your story, and please tell us a story.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. Thanks for giving me opportunity to tell a story in this forum. And hello, everyone. Good evening. Myself, Anuradha from Chennai, India. And I'm a founder of Story Clouds. And as a curriculum trainer, where I strongly believe that storytelling is a most powerful, magical tool where we can transmit our social and cultural values in early childhood education. So let's begin the story with small prayer. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanoramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Jai Shri Krishna. So today I'm going to tell you all an interesting story about who witnessed the Kurukshetra War. Yes, it is a story from our Indian epic Mahabharata, which revolves around two branches of a royal family, Pandavas and Kauravas, dividing parents, siblings, and grandparents, and among others within the kingdom itself. And it explores about the human emotions like love, anger, jealousy, determination, greed, and so on. From the early age of Pandavas and Kauravas, there were various disputes where Kauravas were making lots of trouble in various ways to Pandavas. Once Kauravas, Duryodhana, the eldest brother of Kauravas, planned to kill Pandavas by setting up a wax palace upon a fire. However, Pandavas managed to escape with their mother. With lots of disputes, by facing lots of such troublesome situations, Pandavas remained calm and patient. Finally, Pandavas set up their own kingdom called Indraprastha. Even that was grabbed by Kauravas by playing a tricky game like Ludo, where Kauravas pushed them out from the kingdom. The Pandavas, they were gave a punishment to send out from their kingdom, and Pandavas lived their life in the forest for many years with great difficulties. Years passed. Pandavas returned back from their Vanavasa, that is from forest, and they started asking for the rights to get their own kingdom back. But Kauravas refused, which led to the Kurukshetra War. For that, from both the side, paternal and maternal relation with their forced armies came forward to give their full support to Pandavas and Kauravas. And a great hero, the great strategist in Mahabharata is Krishna. He gave his full army to Kauravas, and he stood alone at the side of Pandavas with no weapons. And all the children and the grandchildren participated from both the sides. Among the 5 brothers of Pandavas, the Bhima's son Gadotkajan and his grandson Barbarika arrived to the camp of Pandavas. Bhima and others were so ecstatic to welcome them with their open arms. And they were so energized to see Barbarika because they know about the exceptional skill of Barbarika. But Krishna was little detached and not thrilled like others to Barbarika's arrival. That it was going on like that. One fine day, everyone were busy with their drawings of strategy for war. As a surprise to Barbarika, Krishna approached himself and asked Barbarika, tell me, why are you here at the side of Pandavas? Why are you here with Pandavas for this war? Barbarika so happy and said, they have two reasons. One, they are my family. Two, Pandavas have less army force when compared to Kauravas. So that made me to stand for Pandavas. And moreover, I have promised my teacher that I always support the weaker opponent. Krishna was silent for a while and he changed the topic. Now, Barbarika, tell me about your special, exceptional skill or about your special arrows. Barbarika was excited to tell about his special arrows. Yes, Krishna, my arrows are not the ordinary one. With my first arrow, I will mark all the enemies and it will return back to my quiver. With my second arrow, I will kill all the enemy and it will return back to my arrow. And third is just for spare. So Krishna said, oh, that's nice. Nice to hear about your exceptional skill. And Barbarika, I have asked this question to everyone, all the warriors over here. Like how many days the war will last? And everyone estimated their dates and told me and like 20, 25, 27 or 28, like that. So no, you, my dear child, tell me how many days will the war will last? Barbarika said with simple word, within just 3 days. Krishna said, oh, you are the great warrior among everyone over here. And then Krishna asked Barbarika, assume that the leaves on the tree are your enemies. Now, with your special arrow, show me what you can do. And Barbarika was so excited and he did this one. He took his first arrow and he started marking all the leaves. Soon, quickly, the Krishna hit one leaf under his foot. So the first arrow was shot and it was marking all the tail of the leaf with the red dot. And, it became back to the quiver. Next, Barbarika took his second arrow and he started to shoot it. And it destroyed all the leaves and finally it pierced the Krishna's foot as well. The blood was oozing out from the wound. Barbarika got shocked and he apologized to Krishna. Krishna, I'm very sorry. And Krishna said, it's okay. I was just testing your arrow. Fine, it's okay. I'll be all right. Don't worry. Now, Barbarika, tell me, you are here because you are here because the Pandavas are having less army force. So what if tomorrow Kauravas lose more people and become weaker, and which side you will stand for? Barbarika said, I will switch my side and I'll go to Kauravas. Okay. So tomorrow, later, if Pandavas lose more people and become weaker, and again you will switch back to the Pandavas? Yes, I'll do that, said Barbarika. And Krishna said, so what if I hide all the Pandavas from your arrow? What your arrow will do? My arrow will find all the Pandavas. So will you kill your grandparents and your family? Barbarika was speechless. He was not talking anything. Krishna said, with your foolish promise to your teacher, you are just oscillating in the between the two camps, and you at the end of the war, everyone will die. You alone will remain. My dear Barbarika, I know you are a furious warrior. but without thinking about your long-term consequences, you have you have promised your teacher. Barbarika admitted his mistake and asked Krishna, what should I do now? Krishna said, if that is the case, I can guide you as a teacher. For that, I need a Guru Dakshina, a donation for a Guru. Barbarika said, sure, I'm ready. Tell me, I'm ready to give my life. Krishna said sadly, I want your head. Barbarika smiled, said, take it, Krishna, but I have one last desire. Will you promise me that you will do it for me? Krishna said, take it, ensure that it will be done. Barbarika said, yes, as being a warrior, I can't fight. At least I would like to observe the war. But when you have my head on your hand, how that is possible? Krishna said, that is not a problem. I will take care of it, and I ensure that you will see and listen the entire thing in the battlefield, from the battlefield. And he ensured that it will be taken care. And at the end, finally, at the end of the conversation, all the Pandavas reached the spot, and Krishna ordered Bhima to take Barbarika's head and his body to the top of the mountain, and where he could see and listen the every happening in the battlefield. The war took place for 18 days. There were many loss within the family. Soon after the war, all the Pandavas gathered together and started discussing about the contribution towards the victory. Later to the conversation, Vyasa reached there and said, none of us know who has contributed towards the victory. The only person who has witnessed the war is Barbarika, who is there on the top of the mountain. Let's march to him. So everyone reached Barbarika and asked who did the best towards the war, the war. And finally, Barbarika said, it is a fascinating war. To my opinion, the war was won only because of Sudarshana Chakra, which belongs to Krishna. And so Krishna is the only one responsible for the victory of Dharma. Krishna reached the place and joined the head of Barbarika's head into the body. And Barbarika said, I have seen the worst humanity. I don't want to live my life. And I don't want any special powers or arrow that I have. And I just want to live my life as a sage. And he thanked the Krishna for the best he has done for him. Krishna smiled and said, Barbarika, you and your love, unconditional love towards me will be spoken by people. And people will be calling you in my name as Shama. And today, Barbarika is worshipped in Rajasthan as Shama. And I'm so glad to share an unsung hero from Mahabharata who witnessed the Kurukshetra War. Jai Shri Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much. So what about that story do you especially connect with?
like since my childhood, I used to see this Mahabharata series. Like initially I have shared the Draupadi story, and today I'm sharing the unsung hero of the Barbarika story. Like he was a person where he didn't do any contribution towards the war, but he has witnessed what was happened, where how was the humanity was to, was taken place throughout the war, and how they were fighting for each other, how they, initially Tanuja was telling about the story, right? Like the quality of the people, which was not there. I found those things that inspired me to take this topic. And when I came across the story, Barbarical story, I'm so glad, and I want to share this story in right place where I can tell that to everyone.
So what exactly was the heroic act of Barbarica, that he agreed to give his head to Krishna?
Yes, he agreed to give the head to Krishna. Since he has promised that, from his teacher, he got a special arrow. Like he got 3 arrows, where first will mark the enemy, second will destroy the enemy, and third is just for a spare. If we want to use, he can use it. So, and he promised the teacher that he will use this power where the opponent, which part of the side is weaker. So there he will switch and help them in like oscillating. So here Krishna wants to specify the quality of Barbarica, that when you promise in this way, without thinking about the long-term consequences, you might get stuck with your promise sometime. So where you'll be oscillating to this side, you want to whether speak to here or you want to speak that side, and you'll be in confusion and you will not be able to use your power. So that is what the Krishna is supposed to highlight in this story. And that was really inspiring for me. When you give any promise, or when you talk to anyone, or when you commit on any something, be sure whether you can do it for long-term process.
Anybody, any responses? How do you feel
Anu?
about, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, Anu, thank you for throwing the light on the unsung hero. We have never heard the story. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Divya.
That as you favor to them, will it long last? Yes, of course. Krishna have thrown light in this. Thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you, Anu. Well said.
Thank you so much, Divya.
Hi, Anu. Lalita here.
Yes, Lalita.
Yeah, really nice story and a very different story. And yes, as you said, Barbaric, the greatest thing is that he was ready to give away his head immediately when Krishna asked. And one more thing is he was foolish enough to not to realize that, that he will always support the weaker side. So he didn't realize that if the Kauravas become weaker, he had to go to the Kauravas. Or the Pandavas become weaker, he had to keep oscillating. So that was very well brought out in the story. Thank you for sharing the story.
Thank you, Lalita.
Yeah.
And one good thing that I see from the story is, you should not keep your mind ready, that you should not get oscillated from, should I go here, should I go there? You should be, perfect in taking decision and commit yourself with that point. That is
so
what
ultimately, it's a bit of Mahabharata. It's not weaker or stronger. It is a side of dharma.
Dharma.
So that is what Krishna stood for. So it's not who's weak or who's strong. It's for the righteousness. That's all.
Yeah. And this story, many doesn't know. Even I just came across very few months back. When I saw that, it was really very nice. Being a mature people now, we should able to understand many things from our epics, from which part of our country, wherever the world. We should understand how we should take up the right things in our life, how we should take the decisions correctly, how we should help others by taking up the understanding the emotional intelligence, elements around the emotional intelligence. I hope everyone enjoyed the story.
Mhm.
Thank you, Barry.
You know, I am outside this religion, so the way I take the story is that the importance of humility and dedication. If one is devoted and dedicated to goodness or to a particular mission, one will give anything. One will give one's life for it.
Yes. I want to add
something. Is this a story from the original Mahabharata, or is it popular only in Rajasthan or whichever state?
Indira, your voice is not coming
Is
clearly.
it
Indira, if you can.
in Vyasa's Mahabharata, the original one, does it occur?
Indira, can you possibly type your comment or your question in the chat section? Because
That's why I didn't come on video, because otherwise my voice comes very low.
turn off your
Now
mic.
can you hear me?
No, it's not really clear. If you can type your comment in the chat section. that
Okay,
would be much
okay,
better.
I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm gonna look in the chat section. Just wait a minute. Okay. She's asking, does this story appear in the original Mahabharata?
It's not, it is not mentioned exactly, but the character has been specified. But in Skanda Purana, that is another epic called Skanda Purana in Indian mythology, where there it is mentioned in detail. And that is why that is why I quoted as an unsung hero. Now, many doesn't know about this character at all. This character doesn't much revolve in Mahabharata, but in other part of Upanishad, this character is being mentioned.
And I guess, usually when we cut our head off, we die. But in this case, the character did not die and was brought back to full health at the end. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. Yes, and when I was doing some research point of this topic, we were, many were coming up and telling that the alien point of taking, detaching the head, keeping, and finally again detaching. All these things has happened, in ancient days itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is what it has come. But still, as a story, I liked it, like the specified points like oscillation and be stick with your decisions, your promise, commitment. All these things I liked it. As a story, I really enjoyed, and so I shared it today.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, everyone.
Mm-hmm.